Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvette and I am part of the Kat Scrappiness creative crew. Today I'm going to be playing with some of the fun stencils from the newest Kat Scrappiness Fall Release. So let me show you what goodies I will be using to make 3 Halloween cards today. I'm going to use the Jack-O Lantern Faces Stencil, the Spiderweb Stencil, and the layered Candy Corn Stencil. And then in addition to those 3 stencils, I have brought in many more Kat Scrappiness products. So let me go over those real quickly with you. I am using the Dress Up Quokka stamps and coordinating dies, and also the Halloween costume add-on stamp and dies. Then I'm bringing in the stitched alpha dies for my sentiment. I'm also using the stitched scalloped rectangle dies and the double stitched rectangle dies to cut out my layers. And then for pattern papers, I'm going to use the creepy and kooky paper pad as well as the purple glitter paper pad. Now I did bring in some embellishments, so I added some from the cute candy corn sprinkles, the graveyard shift sprinkle mix, and the boo-tacular sequins. And then of course I have my Kat Scrappiness tools I use. I have my embellishment pickup tool, my reverse tweezers, my Barely Art glue, my foam tape, and I almost forgot my triangle trays where I put my little embellishments and sequins. Now, I will be sure to list to all those products in the description box below. In the meantime, let's start making our card. So I'm starting by ink blending all my panels. So for the Jack-O Lantern faces, I thought I would go with some purples. So I am kind of doing 3 different shades of purple on the stencil, and that'll give me a nice ombre kind of a look. And then I didn't like the stark white, so I'm going over those faces with a light gray color. Then I'm moving on to my Spiderweb stencil, and I am using 3 shades of green for my spiderweb. And as you can see, I started with the lightest shade in the center of each of the webs, and then moving out to the middle shade, and then the darkest shade. And then once I do have this all ink blended and shaded how I like it, I am going to go over it with the ink that's remaining on my blending brush, just to kind of tone down that stark white a little bit. And then for my 3rd panel, I am using that layered Candy Corn Stencil, and that has 3 stencils in it. So for the first layer, which is the bottom of the candy corn, I'm using a violet color. And as you can tell, I'm using some non-traditional candy corn colors. And then for the second stencil, which is your middle layer of your candy corn, I'm going in with some green. And then for my 3rd and final stencil layer, I am going in with a really pale orange on here. It's a melon color. So my candy corns are Halloween colors, but not traditional candy corn colors. Now here you'll see I am bringing in some stamped and die cut images. I did stamp, color, and cut those off camera just so that my video wouldn't be too long. And then I'm kind of deciding which image I'll put on which background here. Now once I've decided, I went off camera and used my stitched scallop dies and my double stitched rectangle dies to cut out my layers. And then for the boo sentiments, I did use those stitched alpha dies. Now here I wanted to add a little bit more separation between the 2 layers, so I did some ink blending around the edge of my stenciled panel, and then I decided I wanted to pop that up on some foam tape. So I'm adding some foam tape here, and as you can tell, I like to add a lot of foam tape to my cards, but I think that helps to keep the panel from sinking down. So then once I've got that on there, I do add a little bit of the Barely Art glue to give me a little bit of wiggle room when I'm adhering this to the matte layer. Then here, I'm trying to figure out if I want the card in a landscape or portrait orientation, and I decided I'm going with a landscape orientation. So then I'm just adhering my little images flat onto that panel using some of my liquid glue. And then I am going over some of the images with my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. And I'm also layering up those letters to make my sentiment a little bit more dimensional. And as you can see, for the sentiment, I used the same pattern paper as I used for the matte layer to kind of tie them together. And then I'm just adhering it onto my panel there. Then I'll go ahead and adhere that to my card base. So I'm going to follow pretty much the same steps using my other two stenciled panels. So I'll play a little bit of music and let you watch my process. So now that my cards are complete, I am using some scraps of that pattern paper and glitter paper to add some little flags to the inside of my cards. I think when I add this to the inside, it just makes it feel more complete. So there you have my 3 beautiful Halloween cards using these lovely stencils from the latest fall release, as well as so many other wonderful Kat Scrappiness products. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribed to my YouTube channel or followed me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.